Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Siren Frost, and today I got two new deck profiles for you today. In this video we will be introducing to the one who governs ritual sacrifice glass. I know I had this collection for like a month now, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do it, and because I didn't know the proper recipe, because there's a lot of people who have been not posting a lot of a lot of the sacrifice glass ride line. A lot of people may not be interested in it, and that's okay. So I'm here to do my own version of the deck itself, and based on what everybody else is saying, including my locals, this deck right now is a little tricky, a little complicated. Basically, it has one. Oh, actually, let me go on the wiki page and I'll just read you what it says on here. Okay, so on the sacrifice glass can gain resources if any card of your opponent is retired. Okay, work. Also, with perfect condition, you can superior ride manifestation of Great Skyline, Grandogma that have a big bonus for each copy of that card in your bind zone. So basically what this means is this deck pretty much does for you is helps you gain energy depending on if your opponent is retired from the Guardian Circle or Guard whatsoever, or retired whatsoever. So it gains like the souls of like those units, and then due to an order card, you can either have Sacrifice Glass or Grandogma, which I think that's the main goal, because the number of Grandogmas you have in the bind zone, it will activate some skills, I guess to the Vanguard only. And your main thing is to bind as many of those cards as possible, just so you can get the abilities. Now, without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the deck itself. And yes, thanks to my friend, I'm able to have this nice little platform, this little table here to hold my deck here, and I'm actually on my bed, so this is actually a pretty nice bonus. And you can actually see Luke here up close and personable. So for the right line, of course, we have the energy generator, because it's an essential to have that card in the as your part of your ride deck for future sanctioned games or something like that. And then, so the grade 0 we have is Instant Invitation, Lalalapococo. I think it's just a weird, funny little spirit, but based on what it looks like in the background, I think it has some like Mexican or Hispanic heritage style to it, based on behind the background. But it says here, and let's just say we can try to keep it more pleasant here, Instant Invitation, Lalalapococo. So we got that little guy right there, and then we'll just move this right here. I think let me see if I can, skip on the camera part and just adjust the camera a bit more to match what it looks like, because I've noticed does that look a little better? I think it does look a little better. So yeah, there's that little guy right there, and then here's this one here, who apparently is going to be the only human in the ride line, welcoming Flowerbasket Hoppop. Hoppop squeeze. It goes straight to the candy. At the beginning of your ride phase, choose up to one Enrapturing Satiation. I can't even pronounce that word. Fuck. Satiation Chefy? I don't know. From your ride deck and ride it as stand. If you rode a card, you and your opponent draw a card, and you cannot ride until the end of the turn. So I think this is a good way to just skip the discarding card. I think you have to discard a card still. I don't know, but so far that's like a good start. Speaking of which, here's the grade 2, which is Enrapturing's Satiation Chefy. I think I said it correctly, Chefy. When this unit is rode upon by one who governs ritual sacrifice glass, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to one Sacrian Bale, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. When this unit is placed on rear guard, choose a grade 3 or greater face-up card with Grandogma in its card name from your damage zone, and you may put it into your hand. If you put it into your hand, choose a card from your hand and put it into the damage zone. So it does contain a little bit of that Angel Feather feel to it, but the damage zone. Zerakiel was actually one of the few who probably do that too, along with No Seal and all that other stuff. I don't know if my camera's a little dirty, but I'm going to look into it after this. And then finally, for the grade 3, who is the main boss, and also a weird demon looking, but kind of like a clown, but a magician. I don't know, he's a bit of everything. He's one who governs ritual sacrifice glass. At the beginning of your main phase, you get this skill. When your opponent's unit is retired from Rearguard or Guardian, you may energy charge 1 until the end of the turn. Okay? Work. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked the Vanguard, energy blast 4, search your deck hand or trap, or almost a trap, or drop for up to 1 manifestation of the Great Skyline Grandogma, write it as stand, and it gets this skill. 15,000 power and minus 2 drive until the end of turn. If you search the deck, shuffle the deck. If you wrote a card, your opponent may draw a card. So this right here helps you provide. Oh, don't mind the glare on that one. Let me see if I can move this over here so we can fix it a little bit. So I think it did okay, but it's a glare, so it's gonna happen. Let me see. Can I actually adjust the camera more? Or not really? Let me just see this. Just gotta be really careful with the camera stand. I think that's better than nothing. It's gonna have to work. But yeah, that's the confirmed ride line, and this little guy here is just part of it. So we'll just have to be really careful on how to do this now, because we don't want to break the camera. Look at this right now. And then we're also using the Mirai sleeves, Vanguard sleeves you get. Here, let me hurry and adjust the camera just a little bit. Just right there, just a little bit. Okay. There. I think, okay, oh wait, hold on. This is gonna be a little bad. I have to be really careful with this. There we go. There we go. I think we fixed the camera, so I'm sorry for that, little guys. So I now fixed it. I fixed it. Alright, so moving on to the main deck, we're just going to go for my usual trigger lineup. I don't think it's going to really affect the deck too much. And this is a new ride line and a new deck, so it's hard for me. I'm not expecting it to be like 100% good or 100% bad. It's just like, it's my own little review, my personal thoughts on it. And right now, I could just, you know, I'm just going to shut the hell up and just go through the deck. So for grade 0, of course, I'm going to stick with my usual 4 heals, 8 crits, 3 fronts, 1 over trigger, just because it's my own personal style. And it's been working for me so far, and it does work pretty well. So of course, we're playing 4 copies of Joyful Songstar for our heals. Then we have 4 copies of Direful Doll Bethany's. And yes, I did manage to get the other collection, the set 12 festival collection versions of these guys, so no longer the trial deck versions, which I still keep just in case I need spares, but I do like to have the actual common trigger ones. And of course, we're playing 4 copies of Steam Deviant Dragon for the soul ability for the 2K. You have to forgive the glare. It is what it is. 3 front triggers, which is Natalia, because I do love the 20k shield value for the deck itself. And of course, we have the common version, Hades Dragon Deity of Resentment, Gallmageheld, just because it's a critical and it's a 10k power of all time, like if you do get it right there. So this is my choice of a trigger lineup. Everyone can be a little different. You are entitled to have a draw trigger if you really want to, but I just like to have more shield value on my shields rather than just, you know, an extra draw. And plus, this deck, I think this deck can do great draws if one gets a chance, but it's more of a passive aggressive kind of deck. And yes, I'm using the slate or jet versions of the dragon shields. This is black with a little bit of glitter, you know, because you probably can't tell from the camera and the lighting how it's lighted, but there are some glitter and sparkles on the sleeves that they were created, so I figured because this deck is like more magical and more like not like a circus type, but just like a living dream, and the stars are your dream windows to your dreams. So I figured, why not? For grade 1s, I choose to play a place of maxed out on the Miasmic Beast Madulla. This is a Sacrifice Glass support card. Carablast, well not Carablast, active skills of 1 turn only. Soul Blast 1, discard a card from hand. Choose a Sacrifice or Sacrian Bait from your drop, and it gets its skill. This card can be played from drop, and when it would be played and put into drop, put it in the bottom of your deck instead until the end of the turn. Okay? At the end of the turn, Energy Blast 5 and draw a card. Which, you know, give or take, if you really want to go risky on that effect itself, Energy Blast 5, when you can save that up for an extra Energy Blast 7 and draw a card. But it's completely up to you if you want to use that full effect to its full potential. I don't know. Next we have 4 copies of a generic known as Illusionary Lantern Demonic Lady of Forcalor. Forcalor, I think. When this unit is placed on rear guard from hand or energy charge 1. At the end of the battle, this unit boosts it if you energy blast 3 or more at the same time for the cost of your card's ability this turn. Retire this unit and draw a card. So everything in here is based on energy blasting and all that good stuff. And at one point in time, this is a sought after generic card that a lot of Dark State players can probably use, including Luke here, or Shattered Glass, or Blackmire if you really want to go that far. But I don't think Blackmire really needs it. But it's a very good generic overall. Can't say if it's good or bad, but it's up for debate. And since this is kind of a bit of a demon deck anyways, we are playing 4 copies of Ridicule Disruptor, which is our little succubus living perfect guard. I do love this card very much so. Then again, I love a lot of cards who have female themes to it, so this is a pretty nice little touch. And of course, this is a personal tech card. You guys don't have to do this one, but I chose to go with 4 copies of Brainwash Swirler for the Soul Charge 1, so you can get more cards in the Soul. And if you put a card in the Soul, it does gain a 5,000 boost. If it was Soul Charge twice, then it gets 10,000. So this is a give or take kind of card. It's very generic for a lot of decks these days, and I'm not sure a lot of decks he's actually needed. I know a lot of people want to use Gungaram for Gungaram does the same thing. It's just Gungaram lets you Soul Blast 3 cards to draw a card. So I don't know. You can choose Gungaram or Brainwash Swirler if you want. This is just my personal choice. Plus, it's a triple R, and I want to have my decks all like luxury, bougie, shiny kind of cards. But it's not even nowhere as expensive as it was a long time ago. Thank God. Okay, so that is the grade 1 lineup that I did choose and select. Now, on to the grade 2. So we're not using that many grade 2s in this deck, I realize that. But this is just, like I said, experimental, and, you know, I know a lot of people may not see eye to eye with this, but just hear me out. We are maxing out 4 copies of Eternal Musician Muusi. His front... Oh, is it a woman? I changed my mind. Okay, maybe it's a woman. Or a male. I can't tell. It's a fucking demon. But it has a front row rear guard skill. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Sacrifice Glass in its card name attacks, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Grandogma in its card name attacks, this unit gets 10,000 power and to the end of the turn. So this deck basically what it does is that this deck can retire your opponent's rear guards, and you get a free energy as long as your Shattered Glass. You know what, I want to say it. Shattered Glass. Why not? Pretty much is on the field for that turn. So, and then for the last grade 2, I decided to go with Black Sky Thunder Quaking Queen Leimina. Just because she does a draw card ability, so it's just when this card is discarded from hand during your right phase, Soul Blast 1, put this in the bottom of the deck, and draw a card. When this unit is placed on rear guard from hand, if you Persona Ride this turn, Counter Blast 1, choose a card from your soul, and you call it the rear guard. If you call the card, you may soul charge 1 card. So, again, it's a very generic card. It doesn't have to be perfect. And like I said, I'm trying to find cards that... I actually went through a lot of my Dark State pile and the Dark State for Divines. I just don't know what else I can call this. I don't think you really need her. But I'm just trying to find ideas to, you know, maybe I'll learn from it in the future. Hopefully this deck will get a little bit more support. But what I do know is that the grade 2 is definitely essential. For grade 3, we are playing 3 more copies of Sacrifice Glass for Persona Rideability. I'm just going to move it right here, because why the fuck not? So, 3 more of him. And then we got the main, which I believe is the main boss of the deck, pretty much, is 4 copies of Manifestation of the Great Skyline Grandogma. When this unit is bound out other than by the ability of the card with the same card name as this card, put this card into drop. So it's a 1 turn only. At the end of the battle phase, this unit attacked, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If your bind zone has 1 or more cards the same name as this unit, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it again. Okay. And if your bind zone has 2 or more cards the same card name as this unit, stand this unit. At the end of your turn, if your bind zone has 1 or less cards with the same card name as this unit, choose a Sacrifice Glass from your soul, write it as rest. If you wrote a card, bind this card. So her main goal is to get herself more into the bind zone, away from the prying eyes of the world. So, and then when you have more of her, then she can stay on the field and she just stands up and engages in that attack. Now, I'm not sure this will make her gain plus drives, but she loses 2 drives when she is Superior Ride from Sacrifice Glass. And the card who started all, which I think that's all you kind of need for order-wise, 4 copies of Sacrian Bait. Play this with 1 counterblast and has 2 effects. Perform one of the following effects according to the Vanguard's card name. 1 who governs Ritual Sacrifice Glass, and to the end of turn your opponent gets a skill. All of your rear guards and all cards in your drop lose all their continuous and auto abilities, cannot gain them, and cannot be moved from rear guard to Guardian Circle. Your opponent chooses 3 unit cards from their drop and calls them to open rear guard. If you draw a card for every 3 of your opponent's in your rear guards in total. Manifestation Grandogma. If your Vanguard was not placed during the ride phase this turn, you activate Persona Ride. Choose any number of cards other than Heal and Overtrigger, each with different grades from your drop, return them to your deck and shuffle it. So at this very point in time, this card here is your go-to. It's one of the cards you need to have for the deck to make it work. It's for Grandogma and Sacrifice Glass. Now, how I'm going to actually manifest this deck is going to be beyond me. But that is it for the deck profile video, you guys, for Grandogma and / Sacrifice Glass. I hope you guys did enjoy the video much so. Sorry I took a bit longer. I have to read a lot of this stuff because every new collection I get, I have to read the effects carefully and figure out how many units they are, so that's just me. But yeah, here, let's move him in here. But anyways, you guys, that's it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Sorry it took a bit longer, but I'm just trying to, explain some things, and I'm sorry. If you guys like the content I do create on this channel, please subscribe, thumbs up for this channel, comment down below. And as always, there'll be a full deck list in the description box down below. And that's it, you guys. And as always, I've been your host, Siren Frost, signing out.